Right, I've just felt called to do a quick wee off the cuff video. And this is really what it's all about. For anybody that's experiencing either you being in a really dark place, and dark just meaning, you know, if you're a bit confused, a bit lost, if everything seems to be going wrong around you, and it's not a coincidence I started filming this at 11:11, that's Spiritual Awakening. Amongst other things, it's also, in other circumstances, it can be new beginnings, and it can be anything you want it to mean, really, but it's like, in my opinion, but it's new beginnings, alignment, manifestation. But in this case, I feel it really is about people going through their dark night of soul. And remember, I went through my dark night of soul many, many years ago. I was in the thick of it 7-8 years ago. And I'd say mine even started like a year or so before that. And like I say, even before that, I went through a very dark time around 2011, 2012, because 2012 was a huge... well, basically, I was, you know, I went up a gear in my ascension, or my awakening, when it was, you know, prophesised that it was the end of the world back then with the Mayan prophecy and everything. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, I am noticing it around me and many people. And at first I was like, this is so fucking weird, what the hell's going on? And then because it's like a few, you're like, you know, what the hell? And it reminds me of what's been channeled to me, either when I'm in meditation or what's been said to me in different healings or readings I've had, is that it was this year it was going to get very, very dark, and I was going to be leading people through the dark, and my God, are we in it? I just didn't realise I'd be leading people through the dark, and people that were in the dark would be people so close around me. But I did, you know, I suppose what I'm saying is I did realise that. But when it actually happened, you're like, holy fucking shit. And it's why I'm laughing, because it's not... that's my way of healing myself in these situations, because you really are just like, what the fuck is happening? But I'm then led to be reminded of what I was like when I was in the dark night of soul. And the thing is, I know I'm actually going to be triggering, you know, depending on who, different sorts of people that tune into this. It's like, I'm going to be triggering you if that's you. And I'm not meaning if you're the person that that I can notice and that around me. I mean, there is that too. There could be that. I don't know who's watching, but it's more like if you're like, well, actually, a lot of shit is going wrong around me. But it's all their fault, and it's all their fault. It's all like, you know what I mean? If you're kind of in that, because again, even like I have to look at that in my life when it's like, why is this happening? But again, because of who I am, and especially where my Pluto is, and you know, the work that I do, but it's more to do with the fact that I went through my dark night of soul years ago, and I've been helping people through their dark night of soul ever since. To the point where, you know, it's, I was calling myself a dark night of soul teacher. I just didn't like to adopt that label because, like I said, it's a bit depressing. But basically, yeah, the long and short of this is because this is happening, right? We're birthing a new age, dreaming a new world into being, and it's like any kind of birth or literal labour or anything. It's messy. It's not pretty. Do you know what I mean? There's aches and pains, and a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. And these. So I can't remember. I just sort of pulled these off the cuff yesterday, the day before actually. And I just left them sitting, and then that one I'd already pulled, and then when I shuffled, I pulled the earth, and these are basically, to me, the same cards from the two different decks. But it's because I'm somebody that's here to lift the veil. Now, anyone that's worked with me personally, or if you see the work that I do publicly, you'll see that this is what I do all the time. Now, you might have even questioned me when I've said certain things, either personally or collectively, but a lot of them do come to pass. It could take a while for some things to pass, but they do come to pass. Question everything. Anything unaligned must go. So what I'm basically saying to you is, it is actually really hard to decipher whether somebody's time in your life has just come to an end and someone's in your life for a reason, a season, or lifetime, whether somebody has had hidden motives or intentions. Or I do feel as well with many people, I hate saying this, but it's true. It's like, a lot of people can have like hidden, we'll see, throat chakra, because it's like, when I'm saying it, I don't like to believe it. It's, you know, a lot of people can have like hidden jealousy or envy. Like if you're kind of in a good place in your life, or if you're not even a good place, because again, when anyone's sort of projecting that shit at me, it's like I have my ups and downs as well, but I seem to be able to handle it a lot better than most. And it all comes back down to because I went through my big dark night of the soul. Now I can have mini dark nights of the soul, and they can be really rough too, but I can get back out of it after a good cry and a sleep and, you know, looking after myself. And I've got loads of amazing people around me for support when I need that too. But like I say, I like to heal alone, and then once I come out of that, you know, that's when I like to be around people. And it's kind of funny, like the closest people around me usually sense it, and they're like, hey, do you want me up? Like one of my best friends literally just texted today, and so I'm going to catch up with her next week. So do you mean, it's kind of like, and it's funny because it's not like all my best friends, it's not like I see them like not all the time, because that's codependent, you know what I mean? If you're kind of like, if it's an everyday occurrence, it's codependency, and it's a bit of an addiction really, so it just depends. And this is what they're saying to me. It's like, it might be a bit of a change for people out there when you've been used to speaking to somebody all the time, because I go through this with people around me, whether it's friends or clients or both, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's a case by case sort of thing. But yeah, there is basically something going on about, it's kind of every man for themselves. But it's so basically, right, first of all, I'm going to address the people in the darkness. If you're in the dark night of soul, there's every chance you might be watching this video and your ego's going to be like, fuck you, Claire, I'm not in my dark night of soul, I went through my dark night of soul years ago, or blah, 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 all that. And you may actually be right, but if you did actually react like that, like fuck you, I would question it. Do you know what I mean? Question everything. Because if that was truly the case, you wouldn't be as defensive, because the dark night of the soul is the death of your ego. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have an ego from that point, but it means you can do what I can do. Like, I've got situations where people are acting really out of character, really weird, really cold. And it's strange because I know my astrology, it's people with the exact same placements, like a lot of them. And it's just kind of like, oh, God. So, or it's like maybe not the exact same placements, the same place, but a lot of the same energy. And this is important for you to take on, because not only will this be people around you, this could be whatever contact you have with your twin flame as well. If the universe sort of, you know, serendipitously creates that habit, or if you contact them and it's not the right time, or they contact you, or whatever, you know, lots of situations can happen with that. If that's kind of the case too, that there's a lot of anger, defensiveness, denial of feelings, all that kind of stuff, it's like what I always say, listen, doesn't matter twin flame or not, if somebody's saying they don't feel the same, take them at their word, right? Because it's what happens. It's just what happens. It's just, it might not have happened to you or at all or very much if you're not somebody that kind of chases after because you kind of just knew it wasn't the right time. Everyone will be different situations with that. So they're saying that to me as well. It's like, but it's, again, it's more I'm talking about if it's people around you, like family members or friends or, I don't know, close people around you that's acting like that. Just please, if you're understanding what I'm saying. So address the people in the darkness. That basically what I'm saying is, if you're not even open or able to question for a second that you're in the dark night of soul, and you're being very defensive about that, I would honestly, sorry I'm going to trigger you, but I would honestly say there's every chance that you actually are, because most people are in it. And I'm talking about other healers, other any kind of healing modality. I'm seeing it. And all of the girls that are in my group, or actually really anybody that's done anything with me in a group form, will know that particularly the people that were in my very, very first group, which was many years ago now, we're talking 6 years ago, something like that, they will know, because I had just come out of my dark night of soul and I helped them through theirs, and one person in that had thought she'd already went through it, and then I really respect her that she very humbly admitted that, Claire, I was in my dark night of soul and you were right and I couldn't see it, and just, thank you for everything you've done for me, and thank you for loving me even though I was being really difficult. And then the other women said the same, and then I could go on and on and on. When I had my more recent memberships, there was people that recognised that. But it's kind of like, so it's not a competition, right? But it's just kind of like, what I'm saying is, just question that, you know what I mean? Because I'm kind of in a situation where there's difficult things going on around me, but it's actually not that difficult for me, because I'm just setting a boundary and cracking on with my own life, because I knew this time was coming. And I let anybody around me that's been a bit weird, let them know that I love them and I'm here for them when they come out of that dark place. but I'm not chasing after people, because I also don't do that and wouldn't do that to my twin flame either. But with all of these scenarios, if I felt it was important and I was really guided to, I would reach out to see how things were. But as soon as you get the fucking bee's nest or the fucking bear in a cave or the rat, fucking get out there, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's no point. Whether that's a twin flame, a best friend, a family member, you know, it's the person's got to get themselves out of the darkness. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm here to help people in the darkness. But the thing that happens quite a lot is it's like, you know, it's I don't feel I'm getting a lot of respect for that, how difficult that is to do that, and I can also be used as people's punching bag, and I'm just not here to do that. And I don't even get angry when I say it, because it's what I'm here to do. You know, it's been channeled to me by many other healers that it's that's one of the things I'm here to go through is betrayal, forget, you know, and situations where basically people fuck me over, whether they mean to or not, and I'm here for forgiveness, compassion. It's very much that Jesus energy, which, believe me, it's really not nice to go through it at all, to put it mildly. But that's why I have a bit of a sense of humour around it now as it reaches 11:11 when I'm saying this, because I just keep going to compassion, and it really is rough. When you're in your dark night of soul, you know, you can go through all kinds of really dark feelings. So this is why, yeah, you can go through really dark feelings, and it's just, that's all I can say. Again, it's like, if that is you and you trust me and you want the support, then please reach out, you know, and book a session, or go to somebody that knows what they're talking about that can help you with that. Okay, now to address the people that 11:44, you see the twin flames that are helping people that are in that dark place. But confusingly, you know, some twin flames are still in their dark night soul, but you'll get it more when you come out of it. Lastly, as well, if you are in your dark night of soul, you know, you really have to keep doing the shadow work, and it's I would case by case whether you should be working with people as well, to be honest, because yeah, if you're not taking that time to do your own healing and then you're healing other people, we'll put it this way, I wouldn't want somebody healing me that wasn't facing their own shit. That's why I talk about how much I face my own shit all the time. You know what I mean? Because it's like, kind of like, look, I tell everyone to get counselling because I had counselling for 7 years. I get sick of saying it, but it's true. And notice the theme there. I was in my dark night of soul 7 years ago, right? 8 years ago, really, because I started to kind of come out of it. Really. And I had a counsellor. Thank fuck I had a counsellor, because I was losing my mind. You lose your mind. Your mental health is very vulnerable. And this is why I say anybody that I'm noticing that around me, which is quite a lot of people, I tell them I love them, I let them know I'm here, and I keep it moving. You know what I mean? And notice if people get really angry at you setting a boundary when you've done it in a loving way, that is a huge red flag. Now, it doesn't mean that they're somebody with a snake in the grass. It can mean that. It can mean that they didn't have the best intentions. But mostly, you know, you got to trust your own intuition on that. Mostly being discerning, I feel it means it's just that person isn't used to boundaries, or people setting boundaries on, or there's a lot of abandonment stuff going on. With twin flames, I feel it's like there's a lot of people abandoning you before you abandon them, even though you weren't going to abandon them. Now, I channeled this a while ago when another situation was coming up like this that I'd noticed from my clients and that I'd noticed from myself. Yeah, and it's just one of these things, you know, and it's like a very wise person said to me recently, you know, which is absolutely true, you know, when you're leveling up and your energy's changing, the people around you change, you know, your family, your friends, your clients, and, you know, people really don't like that, and it's very true. But you've got to sort of assess, is it that, or is it that I'm shutting down and not facing this, and it's easier just to, you know, just to cut something off. And again, it's really confusing, because now they're sort of saying to me, there are situations where if somebody's been really toxic, if somebody's been abusive, if there's a like strong codependency, and basically that what I said about setting a boundary, because now I'm being shown situations from quite a few years ago in my life where, yeah, it was, I've said it before, but if you've said like, look, you know, I don't want to speak to you, and somebody keeps hounding you, like in whatever way, if they keep, I'm not talking about right after, because I suppose if you're kind of to and fro and you're saying something to each other, then you need a bit of that. But if you've then said, look, we're not going to agree on this, and I don't want to talk right now, and somebody keeps phoning you and texting you, or even worse, turning up at your door or something, that is then not good, and it's not respect a boundary. And it doesn't matter who's right or wrong, because whenever I've faced these situations, when I know it's just that people are in a dark place and they're going to come out of it and be able to see clearly, because remember that's what I help people do, lift the veil, then I just leave it. Even though I know I'm right in that situation, I just leave it, and and it works itself out. When it's the other one, that's more like a karmic energy, and they will come out the darkness too, and then it's your own personal choice whether you let that person back in your life. A lot of times I don't want to, and you probably wouldn't want to either, but again, it's up to you, because it's different if it's somebody that was really close, but usually the thing is, it usually is people that are really close. You're usually really trauma bonded with these people. It's usually close friends or family, or I don't know, close people at work. So be discerning. What else do they want me to say? Because I can't really be bothered doing this, but they really, people, it's like they were like, no, it's important. So let's shuffle and see what else comes out. Basically the point is, it's not easy. It's not easy birthing a new earth, and we know this. Right, so yeah, to address the people that have went through their dark night soul, and you're possibly having a lot of people around you just coming from a real place of pain, wounding, defensive, angry, all that kind of stuff, you have to lean into compassion. There's no other way for it. You don't need to take a whole load of shit from people. I did remember I said this quite a few months ago when I was noticing it going on. You don't need to take someone's shit, even if they are going through a really difficult time. Like, look, I'm going through really difficult times in my life, but I don't take it out on other people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I use that experience to turn my pain into power after taking a lot of time to go within to share with the collective, because I'm a wave shower. It's not easy to do it. And that's what I mean about defensiveness and all that kind of stuff. And it's happening to many, many people, so you're not alone. If this is sounding like you're not alone. But it's about seeking that help that you need. And there's loads of free resources that I've got with my shamanic journeys, or there's loads of free resources on YouTube. And people ask me, well, Claire, can you show me what would help? It would be better if you asked your guys what would help you, because everybody's frequency is different. It's like, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I know I'm going to piss and trigger people off if people that are in this place, and I don't even mean people that are directly related to me. I mean anyone that's in this place could be like, you don't even know what's going on in my life, and I've got this going on and that going on. Like I said, we've all got stuff going on. You know what I mean? When you fucking hear the shit that I've had going on, then you know what I mean? You understand. I understand. And you'll be like, the fuck can you still laugh when you're dealing with that? But it's because I've done the work. And it doesn't mean I've done the work and I've stopped doing the work. I've done the work and I never stop doing the work. And I'm always doing the work when I'm faced with really challenging situations where people are always in a lot of darkness. And can I say, it often happens informally, where it's like, I don't get any kind of money for that, because it happens informally. Like when I shared the other week that I bumped into somebody that I know for a fact is in a very dark place, and it was like a friend of a friend of a friend. And that same person was like, then passed on to a family member to me. No, well, they said to me before I left them, I feel like I should pay you, like, because of the stuff that I'd said, because I basically healed her as I was talking to her informally. And then she passed on to, a family member of mine. They were like, God, that was really amazing with Claire the other day, and she really helped me. So, I mean, it's moments like that are payment for me. That means more than the money, but I'm at the boundary with where I'm at now is, that is my area of expertise. And it's kind of like everybody's in that dark place, and it's about time that I actually, got that fair exchange that I deserve for people going. I mean, I am a counsellor. Do you know what I mean? I get bored of keeping saying this. I'm a twin flame healer with many. I'm not going to go through all the different, because if you're new to me, I'm not going to go through all the different things. You can read in the description box. But that is the biggest thing that's the most important right now. I went through my dark night soul for a long time so that I could learn it inside out and be there to help, to warn other people it was going to happen to them. I'm aware that, you see, if you didn't follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook especially, you'll not know that that was my area of expertise, and that I've been warning people about this for fucking years, because I didn't know it was going to be this far away for people, to be honest. And it wasn't for some people that were guided to work with me. It was like right after. But the people that know that I helped you through the darkest times of your life, like, honestly, if you're not shy about letting people know that, then please do. But But I'm not asking people to do that because, you know, most people don't want to do that. But again, that's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just one of these things that it's, I don't really need people to do that because I know I did and I've got the proof, and that's why I post these reviews from years ago of people saying that the fog lifted and, you know, it was an anchor in the darkness and all these amazing, beautiful things. I've got a note from one of you guys on my fridge. I'm going to start crying or something. I've got a note from one of you guys on my fridge that says, "Thank you for being a light in a mundane life." So, thank you for being a light in my life in a mundane, something like that. And it's on my fridge. And seeing times when I'm really getting hit hard with ungrateful people around me, things like that keep me going. So you know who you are, and thank you for that. And there's more people like that have done things like that. And that, but again, you've got to, so again, now we'll move into the people that you're probably experiencing what I'm experiencing. You're more than likely someone that went through your dark night soul around the same time, or it could have possibly been after. I know it's frustrating, I know it's confusing for you. It's challenging when you can see someone's in a dark place and they can't see it, just as it's confusing and challenging when you can see your twin flames in that dark place. And